You must tell us something about your neighbor too.
Yes, I will. I came to this program with a lot of hesitation, but at some point I felt that I had to be here, and I decided to come. You see, I knew very little about Krishna earlier, and we lived in Burma, and it was my grandfather to whom our religious instruction, such as it was entrusted. And he was a very severe man, and the Krishna which came out was, was doing your duty and things like that. And that is what made me hesitate to come here. But the way Sadhguru has presented him in a completely different dimension, that's beaten me completely. And the great thing about the way Sadhguru has presented him is that he has also talked about the concept of dharma and the concept of duty, but you have laid a lot of stress on the way he felt his dharma towards the women who were in his life. And that, I think, is something which most people in India miss it completely. Thank you, Sadhguru.
What about your neighbor? You must say something about your neighbor. You definitely did not get influenced by your grandfather. Thank you for that. Just tell them something about your neighbor.
Well, actually, Sadhguru, there is, as I told you, that there is no neighbor really. I do my practices and not completely, and I have to improve myself, I admit that. But I do them, and afterwards I sit by the window with a cup of tea, and I feel blissed out often. And I ask Sadhguru how I could do this, how I could be in bliss for the rest of the day. And Sadhguru told me that he wouldn't be able to answer the question until he told me who was outside the window. And he came to know who she was. I told Sadhguru later on that there is no one outside, it's only the ocean which is outside my window and nothing else. Thank you, Sadhguru.
Must be the Naga Kanyas.
Whereas many of you know the stories and the songs and the dances, for me, it's just been just incredible. And I went and visited the kids in the school because I was going to read to them. But when I went, there was this, it was the day after Isha Fest, and there was a dance group from Coimbatore there to show the kids what they did. And it was actually one of my favorite groups. I think they were a bunch of teenagers. And their dance was basically to smile really wide and go like that and stomp around for a really long time. And it was the sweetest, happiest dance I'd ever seen. So they were showing it to the kids. They danced around the room, and then Michaela asked me if I wanted to say anything to them, and I told them that they were my favorite act because it was the happiest dance I'd ever seen in my life. And they grinned at me as if they were 3 and 4 years old rather than the teenagers that I think they were. There's such this level of access to sort of sweet, dear emotion that just kind of blew me away. So many children in the United States are very jaded, teenagers also. It was just so sweet. So I just want to say, from an outsider just being dropped into this, it's just been what a beautiful culture.